So tonight is April 21st, and it is the peak of the Lyrids Meteor shower. So tonight I will be attempting, keyword attempting, to photograph some of the meteors in my light polluted backyard. So tonight I will be trying something for the first time ever. And right now, it is cloudless and it looks great outside. Here's a view of the night sky around 10 o'clock or so. And you can see in the northeast, just there, we have peeking over the horizon the Lyrids Meteor shower. And if we fast forward to about 2 or 3 in the morning, that's when the peak is, and the meteor shower is almost straight above. So now if we go into the settings and choose the camera lens that I'll be using tonight, which I'll just be using my Nikon, one of the default lenses, 18mm focal length, just to get a super wide field to try to capture as much of the sky as I can. So here's a simulated view of that, so hopefully we can catch some meteors and have a lot of pretty stars in our field of view tonight. It's finally dark out, and I've got all the gear that I'll be using tonight right here, and this is it for tonight. I've got my mount there, the tripod, the camera on it, I've got my power cables there, and an intervalometer. And what's nice about this setup is I can take it out and I can take it in one trip as compared to the larger setup. So, and in addition to that, the alignment of this, since it's only polar aligned, it takes less than 20 minutes to get set up and going after I level it out. So let's take it out to the yard. Okay, so I finally finished setting up. I had to relocate it a little bit. I had it in front of the shed more, and I had to move it a little more west, just so I can avoid some of the trees in the backyard. But everything is relatively aligned. The only thing left to do really is to polar align it. So this is the Ioptron Sky Tracker Pro. It's a cheap, small little thing. It's got a 24-hour battery pack. Since I've got it, I've not had to charge it up but the first time. And I've been running on that charge for a while now. I have full confidence that it will last comfortably throughout the night, up until at least 2 or 3 in the morning. It's got a light payload, which makes it perfect for this. I've got a small Nikon D3300 on top with no filters on it tonight, and a small counterweight to balance it out. And I've got my intervalometer kind of dangling from the neck strap of the camera right now, but that should make do for tonight. For polar guiding, I like to use this app called Polar Finder. It's very helpful in finding Polaris. I like to use a different reticle than the default one. I like to use this one. It matches up with the Ioptron, the polar aligned scope that it gives. So I'll try to get this Polaris in that reticle as close as I can. And the camera's already pointing in the general direction that I want it to. So from then, I'll just take the polar scope out just to avoid any crashes with that and the dovetail, and just start exposing and trying to balance out the histograms. Alright, so we got the camera up and running. It's pointed effectively dead northeast, and the star that I vaguely aimed it around is Vega, since the meteors seem to be originating pretty close to that, and Vega is a bright reference target. I can just see Vega starting to pop up above some trees over there. So it'll get in the clear pretty soon. I've got my Nikon D3300 on top. There are 0 filters in there right now, so it's soaking in a whole bunch of light, especially those lights. And it's also catching a whole bunch of reflections off of things like the back of my house and tons of trees around here that you can't see in the power lines that are up ahead. So it's not very conducive to good viewing, especially wide field. Not only is it bright, but there are tons of things reflecting light and obstructing the night sky. Okay, so the way I'm shooting is definitely not how I planned on it originally. It doesn't help that there are a ton of obstacles in the way, like trees and bushes and branches that really blow up some brightness and noise. But how I'm shooting now are 10-second subs at ISO 800, which is significantly shorter exposure times than what I wanted, but it's giving me immediately the type of balance and noise reduction that I want, without having to go through and process all the photos individually. So I think for a first try, we'll see how it comes out. This is complete experimentation, only referencing a few articles and like 1 or 2 other videos online. So the plan is to expose for the next 3.5 hours or so, so I'll come back out here probably every hour just to check on it. I think there are going to be 2 really neat outcomes from tonight. One is going to be a neat time-lapse thing that I'm trying. Since these exposures are so short and it's on a tracking mount, you'll be able to see the horizon sink down and it'll track the stars. And then the other cool effect, hopefully, is that we get to see some of the Lyrids streaking through the sky. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. We're approaching the peak of the meteor shower right now. I doubt I'll be able to see any, but the camera's still going. It's been going for close to 3 hours now. Brought a little lawn chair out here, so I think now I might just actually sit out and enjoy, hopefully, the meteor shower for a little bit.